Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here today. So I'm interested to know who believes in this. Can I see a show of hands? All right. Okay, good. I do too, very much so. And I'm just going to tell you a short story about myself and my experience with Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. This is me. It's hard not to think of yourself when you're at a conference like this as a child. And about, 38 or so years ago, I was 2 months old, and I was very, very sick. And my parents had to rush me to Children's. And they were greeted at the time at the curb outside of the ER by a group of doctors and nurses there waiting to greet me. So they whisked me away, and I disappeared for a while. And a few hours later, they came out to see my parents, who were in the waiting room at the hospital, waiting to hear, anxious as can be, what was going on with their firstborn 2-month-old little girl. And the doctor came out of the ER and approached my parents, and he said to them at the time, he said, if she makes it till midnight, she'll live. So it was a pretty critical condition. And needless to say, I'm very grateful for all the hard work that the nurses and doctors at Children's Hospital, whatever it is that they did to me that night, that I could be here today. And I really believe that they gave me a gift that I was able to give back in a very humble way, and maybe a very small way, to the design of the new Children's Hospital that exists now in Pittsburgh. This was actually the site of the new hospital in Lawrenceville. And I have a company called Fathom, and it's a design research strategy company, and we're all about understanding people at a very, very deep level in order to better inform and inspire design environments, brands, products, and really experiences. Because I strongly believe that aesthetics are wonderful, being able to something function well, that's really imperative, but that emotional connection is so key, and that's how you really can capitalize on a great opportunity. So we dove in deep to the users of Children's Hospital, the patients, the parents, and the staff, because we really needed to understand them better in order to inform the architects and designers on the project as far as how to meet their needs emotionally. So we used a variety of methodologies to do that, because it's not very easy for people to articulate what it is that they need and they want. It's difficult. So you have to extract that in some way. So we use a lot of visual imagery. We do in-depth one-on-one interviews. We use collage techniques, ethnographic research. We explore the senses, have dynamic discovery sessions with groups. This was a patient done by a 9-year-old girl, and it really talks about a collage, and it really talks about her thoughts and feelings about her ideal Children's Hospital experience. And she references color and how that really sets the atmosphere for a place, and the playroom and being the most important place, and access to the outdoors with flowers and a garden to go to. And she brought in a picture of a dog, and she asked the graphic designer working with her here to turn the dog blue, because she said, I feel blue when I'm in the ICU, and I feel like I can't get out of my room. I feel like I live in a box. So you get to some really deep emotional things when you work with imagery, and you really dive deeper into the emotional needs of the user. This was a parent collage that we did. We also worked with the staff. This was all about escaping sort of the anxious feeling that you feel when your child is sick and you're there, and this concept of time and the clocks and the clouds, and how time just seems to drag when you're there waiting to find out the next step or the next answer about your child. So the next couple slides I'm going to show you are really talking about what their past Children's Hospital experience was, and then what their future Children's Hospital experience was after they were involved in the process and the design was complete. So initially, in their hospital environment, they felt like they were in prison. They were in an institution. They were cut off from the world. The new environment allowed them to feel much more spacious and better and brighter and cleaner. And again, we really try to delve into the senses. So what about the color? And in the old hospital, it was very drab, and things like red, scary colors were around. In the new hospital, they wanted something very bright and very vibrant, kind of rainbow-like in a way. Texture, that's really important. In the old environment, they felt like it was rough, like sandpaper and the feel of a porcupine. And then in the new environment, now they felt like it was soft, like rose petals and fleece and cotton. And then again, the scent. That's a pretty important one in a hospital. And the old one, they felt like they could smell hand sanitizer and vitamins, where in the new one, it was like the smell of candy apples and sunflowers. And this is all stuff coming from the kids and the staff and the patients. Sound, we dealt with that as well. We like to frame things in metaphors. So the overarching metaphor for this hospital design was all about transformation. Whether you're a patient, parent, or staff, you wanted to feel empowered to transform. And so it was the responsibility of the design team to use that metaphor and use that as the tool for design and have that come to fruition in a concrete way. This was a rendering before the user research took place, and this is it after. So you can see it's a very big difference. So the big idea here was putting color on the exterior, because a child's hospital experience starts the minute they leave their home, not the minute they walk into the front door. So if they can look at something in the distance and feel like they're welcomed by it and they can relate to it, it starts the healing process before they even get there. And a lot of masses on the structure and elevation, very reminiscent of building blocks, which might seem familiar to the picture of me at the beginning of the slideshow. There are some just pictures I'd like to share of the interiors. You can see it's very colorful, it's very soft. This is the front lobby. But we realized through our research, this isn't the wow factor, because this isn't where the patient experience comes to life. It was 6 floors higher, where this became really a town center and a space just for patients, where they had a labyrinth that they could walk and sort of use however they needed to. There was a movie screen that came down at nighttime so patients could congregate and watch movies together, because they wanted to feel like real kids, normal kids. They didn't want to always think about the fact that they were sick. Also, a lot of natural light streaming into the space, into that interior atrium, giving them that great connection between indoors and out. In the healing garden, a chance to get outside, and when you're in there sometimes for months or weeks at a time, there was no escape before. Individual patient rooms where there were actual great colors on the walls and a lot of nice soft wood tones and windows that let them see outside and what time of day it was, and also a sofa that could pull out where both parents could spend the night in case their child was sick and they wanted to keep them company. Again, just an inpatient room where you could see this theme of transformation starting to emerge, this theme of butterflies evolving in soft shapes. And again, the transformation corridor, one of the most important spaces in the hospital that links the main parking garage to the central lobby, where everything in this hallway transforms. And as people walk through it, it's about how am I going to be transformed by this hospital experience. And I'd like to just close with a quote from a patient that we were able to talk to at the end of the design, staying in the new hospital. When I came to the hospital, I was like a caterpillar. Then I started growing older, and the hospitals changed, and I moved to the new hospital where I turned into a butterfly. And here's the finished product. So again, it's all about creating user experience and making that come to life in a very concrete way. And this truly is a children's hospital, because this is all about them. Thank you.